Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Slappin Kpop podcast. I am Kayla, and I am once again joined with Sammi.
Hello.
And we are back for the second episode of Asian Drama November, which,
Woo!
Exciting. We're now in July for recording these episodes for November.
Happy July, everyone.
Happy July.
We're doing great.
But we have now finished another 2 adaptations that we are going to talk about this Asian Drama November, which is Let's Fight Ghost and Bring It On Ghost, or vice versa, because the 2 shows are the same.
Interchangeable.
Yes.
If we're going by what I think everyone has settled on years later, it's Bring It On Ghost is the Korean one, and Let's Fight Ghost is the Thai one.
Although I definitely
watch them on Netflix.
That's what they are on Netflix. Yes,
that's how they are on Netflix, guys.
I will say that I definitely watched the Korean one when it was called Let's Fight Ghost in 2016 when it aired originally.
But I also wanted to point out one of these, which I think is a better title, which is that on the My Drama list, it's also known as Hey Ghost, Let's Fight.
Yeah, that's also what it is on Wikipedia for some reason.
Which, honestly, that's best or worst title.
Yes, that is maybe the name of the webcomic it's based on, is Hey Ghost, Let's Fight.
Possibly.
Maybe that's why that's like that, I don't really know.
So, what has been sort of your reaction to this? Because the Korean one aired in 2016.
It did, and I watched it when it was airing initially.
Stars our boy Taecyeon.
Yes, our boy Taecyeon. We love him a lot. Also, Kwon Yeol, who plays Evil Veterinarian, is a person who we're going to talk about again. Although you're not going to see him because he plays the main antagonist of Voice 2.
I will not.
You will not be seeing
him.
Yes.
Maybe I'll love Voice, Kayla. Maybe I will fall into Voice and just go full.
All 4 seasons.
Full into 4 seasons.
4 seasons of Voice, plus however other many countries versions of that we're gonna watch.
I'm watching 2, and you're watching 2 seasons of
I'm watching another 2 seasons, yeah.
Exactly. So we're gonna have a lot of Voice to talk about.
Oh, yes. That's probably gonna be the last one we talk about, because there's so much of it.
Yes. There's too much.
Yeah.
But, and then the Thai one aired this year, so 5 years later. Which is... That seems
interesting, because I don't think there's anything really spectacular about the show to begin with.
I mean, yeah. It's a choice that it had a sequel, not a sequel, but an adaptation so far
after it
in the future.
Yeah. Because I know maybe it's popular because of the webcomic initially, because they do so many webcomic adaptations. Recently.
Because I just had to check something, because I know that Thailand will often do them far after they air.
Yeah.
Because they also did an adaptation of School 2015.
Oh.
But it happened in 2020, so it's just called Who Are You?
That's really bizarre.
So it's not called School 2015. Let's
adapt School 2015 in 2020. That's weird. That's a weird thing to do, but okay. Alright.
Yes. But, it's interesting, because also I feel like School 2015 is also a weird one of the school series, so that's fine.
Yeah.
But, so you watched this when it aired.
I did. I skimmed it over a couple days ago just to remind myself of the plot points of it, because I was just like, I have like hazy memories of this one, at best.
Yes. And honestly, they're, in premise, they're identical.
They are identical. The descriptions on My Drama list for both shows are the same. The same description. Yes.
So I watched both of these shows, 2 months ago. And I watched them, one, and then I watched another show, and then I watched the other one. Which means that they kind of blend together a little bit, because they're the same show in principle.
Yep.
But I will say, as opposed to Criminal Minds, where I think the changes they had to make were to its detriment.
Yeah.
I think this one got better with the adaptation, but I also think 6 years of hindsight is a good...
That's good.
It's a bit of you got a bit of an advantage.
You have different perspective on it. when you're that far, like, removed, I guess. Because I definitely think that it doesn't hold up as well, thinking about it, like, now in the future. Because when I watched it, I was like, oh, yeah, that was fun. It was a fun time.
And then watched it this year, it doesn't.
Having sat down and, like, thought about it, and I'm like, this is a weird-ass show. Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense, generally.
So, to give a brief description about the show, so in the Korean version, Taehyun plays this, college kid who can see ghosts, and who can fight ghosts.
Kind of an exorcist, but not like your traditional exorcist.
Not like your not what you're thinking of, like the Exorcist, holy water.
Not even like what, like your traditional, like, Korean exorcist. Like, it's like
also not that.
No, he
the
like
monk character is more of that.
Yes,
even though he's not.
Because he lost his spiritual power, or most of it.
Yeah.
But Taehyun literally exorcises these ghosts by punching them in, like, certain spots. Like, he's got the weak spot of the ghost, and then he has got to, like actually fight. Like, when we say bring it on ghost, like, he is fist fighting the ghost.
A ghost.
That is what he is doing in the show.
So, in that, he also then meets this high school ghost girl from school, and then, for some reason, she is attacked. That's always the part where I'm like, why is she attached to him? Like, is it just because it's the first human that's ever been able to speak with her? Probably that.
So, what the show does is they end up accidentally kissing, because that is what that's how you start off the kdrama.
I forgot about that plot point.
Yeah. And then she
falls on top of him and they kiss.
And then it brings back her memories a little bit. So that's why.
Like a flash memory.
Yeah.
Because she's a ghost that does not remember her remember her past life.
Right.
Even though we'll find out later that that's not actually how that works.
Yep.
Also, there's an evil veterinarian who also happens to be Taehyun's professor, which is the first plot point that makes zero sense to me.
But Taehyun is not a vet student or a medical student. He is like an accounting student.
Taehyun is here for accounting. He is exercising these ghosts to make money.
Yes.
Why?
He's into the big money.
Why? And he's actually making pretty good money. Why the fuck does he have a veterinarian teaching him? And it does not.
There is absolutely no need.
Ed class.
No need for this man to be a veterinarian in the first place. Like, that is a non-important part. I think they wanted him to be a veterinarian
so that he could work with
animals. So we could kill them, I guess.
So we could kill them.
And we could show how evil he is.
Yes, essentially. So that's that part of it, and then he has just sort of been possessed by this demon since he was a child, is what we find out later on.
Yeah.
Something like that. And that's why he does.
But I think he willingly lets on, like, the demon, though. Like, it's like a willing partnership with the demon.
It's partial. It also seems partially willing, partially like at the end they're like, but it's not him. Right. It's not the real him. And I'm like, what does that even mean? Mm-hmm. But yes, and also the other plot twist is we find out that this ghost was not a ghost.
No, the girl high school ghost is not a ghost at all, actually. It's a big surprise.
So she was always in a coma.
Yep. But for some reason, her spirit just wanders around while she's in the coma. And that's why she is stuck there, because she's in a coma.
It's not creepy that Taehyun's dating a high schooler.
Sure, it's like, I don't. Is it because she died while in high school but has been wandering for several years, so she's no longer really a high schooler?
Yeah, and then technically she's been in a coma for a couple years, so physically she's not high, so technically she's older. Even though potato, who knows?
But the thing is that they have her wear a high school uniform, because the only reason she even knows her name is because she has an ID badge on her uniform. Yeah. And, like, that's a pretty, like, a good plot point to just, like, she has no memories, but, like, why do you know your name? And it's like, well, that makes sense, but also it's, like, a little creepy. It's not as creepy as it could be, I guess, but...
And just so we mention them, because they're
very present.
Useless.
Yeah.
They're very present, but
very
like, I have no reason to mention them for the main plot.
Yes.
They're very present for weird side tangents.
And they're just there.
But they're
always.
So there's these two college kids, like, they're not even in this, I don't know if they're in the same major as Tech. They're just in this school as well.
And then two of them look very old. Like, as if they've been stuck in college for years.
I think the plot point is the one, like, leader kid has been stuck in college
he looks
for years.
Old, like, very old.
Yes, and so these two idiots, in the bad way of two idiots, run an exorcism club. Mm-hmm. But
it's like they're doing the thing where they go to like supposedly haunted places and just film it and just are stupid. Vlogging. Yeah.
It's like live. It's like not Ghost Brothers. Whatever those ghost shows, all of the ghost shows.
Like BuzzFeed Unsolved, like those two guys, like if they were like real stupid, like
if they were like awfully annoying and like absolutely terrible. Yes.
We are talking about that these two characters give off big like Vincenzo building tenant vibes where they're absolutely pointless and like not funny at all.
Absolutely terrible, and I hated them. Both of them were very annoying and very useless. They're that like really typical Korean comedy that's just not that funny to me.
They're just like this weird like side comedy duo that is a present, like they're present the entire thing of the show because they have to get him to join their exorcism club, and because Taecyeon is just there in the exorcism club, they're always there with their stupid plots and like side tangents and not contributing anything of use to like any point of the show at all.
Yeah, nothing. And they're really not useful.
No.
But they're here.
I guess we should talk about also, the monk, too.
The thing with them, and that's the difference, because there's also a side monk that Taecyeon lives with.
Yes.
Who, because both of his parents are dead, right?
The dad is not dead. I think the dad is off doing something else.
Something.
Yeah.
We never see the father. But his parental figure is this monk man. He is a monk, and he's also has spiritual energy, but he's lost it at some point.
I think he lost it when he was trying to get the demon out of Taecyeon as a child.
Yeah, so Taecyeon also had a demon inside of him as a child. And also, a lot of this all stems from the fact that Taecyeon's mom died when he was young.
Yes. I think the Taecyeon, the demon that was in Taecyeon is the same evil demon that's in the veterinarian. And then once
that doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, once it got kicked out, the demon got kicked out of Taecyeon. It went into the veterinarian, but it left a piece. It left a piece of it in Taecyeon, and that's why he can see ghosts.
Yes, but also that implies that this veterinarian is like maybe 4 years older than Taecyeon, because he seemed like 9 years old when he got this demon inside of him, and Taecyeon is like 6.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know how you become a veterinarian in 3 years from this college senior.
You know, I couldn't tell you, really.
It does not, like, the timeline, 0 sense. It's a lot.
It's a lot. The more you try to break it down, the less sense it starts to make, is really the thing with the show.
The main plot point of why is a veterinarian
teaching an
economics class.
I don't understand it at all.
0 sense.
Why is he even there, number one, in that class, being taught by a veterinarian? It's like, who knows? You know, that's one of the biggest mysteries of the show, so.
I mean, and then also, like, a lot of this show is just, like, episodic plots of them fighting a ghost. And, like, either it will be a ghost that they just happen across.
In a weird way, the show is about as episodic as Criminal Minds was.
Extremely so. But like, they'll just find a ghost, and like, they'll either find a ghost
or they get hired by the people. They put out their, once he's in like the exorcism club, they put out like ads like more frequently or whatever, and they just like get hired by people
and they go fight ghosts. But really, that sort of stops at the midway point, because then the girl finds out, hey, coma, because her and Taecyeon kind of start this relationship. Then she comes out of her coma and has lost all her ghost memories.
Yes.
Because we need.
And then her mom is like very disapproving of her even speaking to Taecyeon for.
Which, if I'm being honest,
I mean, I get it.
My daughter had just come out of a multi-year coma, and this random man is just like, "Hey, we're dating."
I'm just like, I don't think so.
Excuse you? No! Mind you, she got, like, run over by a car, like, violently.
She did.
Like, violently run over. So, like, it's not even, like a fender bender she was sitting. Nah.
No.
Pow!
It was, like, straight up, like, hit by, like, a car. Like, full on.
Like, full on white van of death.
Yes.
Like,
yes, it was a white van of death.
Like, it was a lot.
Uh-huh.
So that's the Korean one. The Thai one is very much the same.
Just the vibe is a little bit different.
The vibe is very different.
Yeah.
And I think the changes are for its benefit. Because in the Thai one, our lovely, lovely Saint, who I have seen in multiple... I like the fact that I've seen him in multiple other things, so seeing him in this was, like...
Oh, yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
He's a sweet boy. He's a very sweet boy. I loved Why Are You, but it was, like, it was an interesting bit of foreshadowing. So he also has the power to see ghosts, also because of his mom being dead, also lives with a monk, but the monk is slightly more useful, I find, because, like, so, okay, here's the thing. At the end, they do this fake out thing with the monk where they kill off the monk because he's sick.
Yes.
I'm like, one, you never mentioned he was sick.
No.
They established that in the...
Okay.
I often wonder if the Korean one was one of those shows that was done episodically.
Uh-huh.
Where, like, it starts airing, but you're filming it as it airs.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was 2016. That was
very common at the time. Like, very common for that to be happening.
The only thing that makes me think that maybe not is the CGI.
Yeah, oh, that's true. They need time to do that.
So, like, maybe not as episodic, but I
feel like they might have been finishing filming by, like, the time it's, like, the first episode or so was airing, yeah.
Yeah, something like that, because that happened.
But that was, like, very common back then. Was, like, way more common than it is now. But it, like, almost every show is filmed like that.
Yes. So, like, there's a couple things that they change that, I think are better. For example, like, Saint's a med student.
Makes a lot more sense to be in a class by veterinarian already.
Like, and also the fact that the veterinarian is not who was supposed to be teaching the class.
Yes.
The class was going to be taught by somebody else, but the veterinarian, something happened. And
already,
like,
we fixed a big plot hole already.
Like, usually veterinarians don't teach people doctors. Pet doctors don't teach people doctors. People doctors don't teach pet doctors. Different things.
Right.
Different same body parts, very different.
Veterinarians definitely don't teach economics or accounting students, so, like...
That, too. Like, very, very different.
Yes.
But I think that generally the rules are better set up in the Thai one, like, because I don't know if it's just because of the way Thailand's relationship with death or whatever, or the fact that they're mostly focusing on, like, Buddhist... One, the monk makes slightly more sense to me in Thailand.
Uh-huh.
Because there's just monks around in Thailand.
Right.
Because it's Buddhism and it's Thailand.
Right.
So, like, that makes more sense. They're part of funerals. Because, like, Korean funerals, at least from the part that I've gotten...
Yeah.
There's a lot of different religions.
Yes.
Two, a lot of Korea is, like, some denomination of Christian or Catholic.
Yes.
And we don't have... that kind of monks who do exorcisms.
There are, I think, a decent amount of, like, traditional, like, I don't want to say... Because there is, like, Buddhism is also decently
Buddhism
large
is big in Korea. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, for...
It's, like, it's different. It's, like, almost, like, different, though. Because it's some, like, Korean, like, Korean, like, traditions and stuff, so I think it is different.
Yeah, because
like,
my
Thai
thing with
Buddhism.
that is that, like, I felt like in the Korean one, I didn't know what the rules were.
Yeah.
Because, like, if the thing with it is, like, different ghosts and different belief systems work differently.
Mm-hmm.
That's like your little like Catholic demon that you gotta come out with the holy water. Different, I think, than the demons of Taekyon,
yes,
who you gotta punch.
I don't even know why that. I think that was just like
that's not established.
Not anything. The why.
Then again, I don't think it's established in the Thai one either. You just kind of gotta punch.
I think that's just kind of the point of it. I think, which was like, let's make it really stupid, and it's like let's, instead of like going full in on like serious exorcisms, they wanted, like, I don't know, make it an action movie. Weirdly, I guess.
I also like the fact that in the Thai one, they very blatantly are like, why haven't you reincarnated? In the Korean one, I think they avoid saying either reincarnation or move on.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they want to, like, take a side into what happens after the afterlife.
Mm-hmm.
Or if they do, I didn't catch it because it just
it's
always...
It's not a thing that I remember. Although, it's not a thing that I would be looking for.
No, not that I was.
Yeah.
But the fact that the Thai one took a stance and was like, yo, you can reincarnate.
Yeah.
Which, like, makes sense.
Because I don't think the Korean one was big on the reincarnation aspect of it.
No, and I don't think that it even was big on, like, the,
going to heaven type stuff,
like, heaven, or just move on to the... They might have used the phrase move on just to make
as, like,
it
a general
nondescript
concept, yeah.
Like, you can move on and reincarnate, or you can move on to heaven.
Right.
Like, I like to think in the Korean one, it's like a choice. It's like, well, which belief system were you? Mm-hmm. Like, let's do, like, the tree of, like, decision tree of, like, okay, if yes, then move on to this box. Right. If no, move on to this box. Mm-hmm. Like, where you're gonna end up.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Mm-hmm. Also, like, I think it established the rules. It also established a lot of daddy issues.
Yes, it did.
Which was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Also a character, and it also, I think, established because I don't know how to describe it, but I also feel like the evil man was more evil. Evil vet was more evil. And also, he did more, because you watched that last episode, he was doing a lot.
He's also such a different vibe than the Korean evil veterinarian. Like,
the evil veterinarian in Korea vibe just seemed like he was there.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know what the demon was doing.
He's very, like, a stoic evil in the Korean one.
But my question was, what was he, like, what is his evil? Like, I know he's possessed by a demon, and demon inherently evil.
Yes.
But, like, I don't think he ever really killed anybody.
He kills he kills a girl.
Does he?
He does, because it's, like, it's one of the earlier plot points, because he kills some, like, kittens or something out behind his vet clinic, and there's a girl who I think witnesses it or something.
And then he also kills her.
And he kills her. And then, because I remember there's a scene where he has to announce to the class, one of your classmates is dead or missing or something like that.
Okay.
So he does do that. I don't know if he kills, like, anyone else or any more people, but that was the one that I at least can remember from the Korean
He just wanted to be left alone to...
Because after the Tachyon, more so than anything else, his remaining demon part, I guess.
Yeah. The evil guy just, like, full-on kills a dog in this one.
They were really into, like, the killing of animals to show evil, I mean, to represent evil.
That's why he was a vet.
I think he also might kill a dog. I don't remember if he kills the chihuahua that's, like, around or not. I think he might kill that, too.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I know. It's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But, I also think that, like, the Taiwan did it a little bit interesting because they've sort of, like, made things... They elevated things a little bit because both of them have this one storyline where you have a child ghost.
Yes.
And I think in the Korean one, he was also killed by his father, but it was just a domestic abuse situation.
Yeah,
right?
I'm pretty sure it was.
Because the mom's alive.
The mom is alive.
The mom's alive and, like, wants closure, but, like, the kid is dead, and so is the dad. Because I think she kills the dad because he killed her son, which, you know what? Fair.
Mm-hmm.
I think fair.
Fair.
And in the Thai one, they up it a little bit because it is still a domestic violence situation because it's still the dad that kills the son, but the dad is also a drug dealer.
That is very interesting.
And was hiding drugs in children's toys, and then the kid took a toy. And I rage.
Uh-huh.
It was more of an enraged situation, and I'm like, that's escalating things a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm reading the description for that episode, or what I think the equivalent of it is.
Mm-hmm.
Where the kid is not actually a ghost. Him and his mother is alive, and the husband was abusive, and the mom killed the husband. And then the husband ghost is coming back and, like, is angry because he was killed.
Oh. See, this kid actually died.
Yeah. So that one, no one, like, who was not evil was killed. That was just, like, the actual abusive husband was killed and then is back for vengeance.
For revenge?
Yeah, for being killed.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot.
I do think, because you told me specifically to go look up the finale of the Thai version.
Yes.
Where he turns
the finale of the Thai
it's
version,
a lot. It's really...
It is a lot.
The two, like, watching them back to back, just the finale, it's like the vibe is so different.
He's more sinister in the Thai one, the evil vet.
He is, and he's also like
the devil.
The devil, like, and he's also shirtless, and so the vibe is like,
yeah,
very weird.
There's very much scenes in that one where he just has eyes on his torso.
I did see that. I did see the eyes on the torso.
What? And it just is what that, and that's that's what that is. There's multiple eyes on this torso, and they established that early on, and I'm like, so evil.
Evil, yes. If you didn't see the eyes on his body.
If you didn't see the multiple eyes. If you want to know another thing that changes this compared to the Korean one, so Taecyeon has this classmate in college.
Yes.
Who is his own age.
Yes.
Another
accounting
in Korea,
or
accounting/medical student.
Right, exactly.
The equivalent person to Saint and Taecyeon.
Mm-hmm.
So in the Korean one, she is mostly a nothing character that doesn't really do anything.
Absolutely nothing to the plot.
Because Taecyeon likes her, but he doesn't really ever talk to her. And, like, she's nice and doesn't do anything wrong.
She doesn't do anything wrong, she's just nice.
He never really asks her out.
No.
He, never really does anything.
She's there to be, a semi-romantic love rival to the ghost girl, but it's, not really working.
But, by the
because
time
she's
everything...
a ghost.
But, halfway through, when the ghost girl becomes not a ghost, it's well, now we don't need her.
Yeah, then she disappears from the plot, mostly.
Yeah, it's not necessary.
Mm-hmm.
So then, in the Thai one with Saint, she's still nice. She's extremely nice. But she's also sleeping with the evil veterinarian. See,
that's more fun. That's so much more fun.
That's interesting. And it's, multiple times, multiple scenes, this is an established thing.
Mm-hmm.
And at the beginning, I thought he killed her.
Ooh.
Or he might have just kidnapped her and they might have... I could not remember what happened. But it's a lot. But yes, that's a full storyline with those two.
I think that's more fun, because it's there's already...
He gives her a purpose.
There's already so few characters in this show to begin with. There really is not that many characters in comparison to some other shows. To ship one off
to, the corn, to never be seen again for no purpose.
And it's
a waste of one of the few characters.
One of them is useless, and then you have the two idiot ghost hunting comedy duo who are also not really adding anything to the plot. You have, 3 to 4 characters left, and the monk also isn't doing a lot either, so,
yeah.
It's just Taecyeon,
There's
and
a lot
it's just a lot of Taecyeon, yeah.
Taecyeon is very present.
Yes, he is. He is really, he is the main character, but considering how few other characters and how few
no one else
side stories are to this, it's just it's all Taecyeon.
That's the thing of, a show with this few character would usually have, an A plot and a B plot.
Right.
The side characters would be doing something.
Mm-hmm.
The side characters are not doing anything.
No. And it's I don't think it helps the fact that we don't like the comedy ghost duo, so maybe that's a more compelling storyline to some other people, and that gives them a thing to do, and is maybe an extra element to it. But when you're there and you're actively disliking anything that the two of them are doing, I think it makes it worse in a way.
Yes. So... at this finale, it takes place at this bar, which also happens to be in a fake castle.
Yes, that's in a castle. It's I saw it, and I'm like, what? We're in a castle?
We are in a castle.
There's a castle?
That's just what it is.
Because that's where you gotta summon the demons, in a castle. It just fits.
Yes. And then, you have, and then, essentially, I think it's better because, in the Korean one, it's in, a subway.
Yeah, and it's just in the subway. It's some underground tunnel. I'm pretty sure it's a subway.
Which is not as fun.
Yeah.
And also, it really is just Taecyeon versus the evil man. There's not really much else happening.
Not really. The monk is there, and he does the thing.
The monk is there, and...
almost gets killed. And then
they fake you out for, a hot second for no reason.
Yeah. And then Ghost Girl, who's no longer a ghost, is there because she was kidnapped. And it's just but now we're just in the subway, and we're just, actually fist-fighting the veterinarian.
Literally fist-fighting a demon.
Mm-hmm.
And then, they go to jail.
And then it's it. And then The demon, I think, gets exorcised from the veterinarian, and then the veterinarian goes to jail.
Goes to prison.
And then we're done. Well, that's the end.
And then everyone goes home, and then Ghost Girl gets to go to college.
Yes.
Because that's really what we wanted. Oh, mind you, can I talk about the useless last episode of the Korean one?
Oh, yes. Because the last episode is essentially, like, this is a thing that I hate that K-dramas do generally, where the last episode is, like, an epilogue episode. And
which
it's
actually
like,
the plot ends in the one before. But to go back to the ending, to the climax of the Thai one, it's at this bar. There's, like, more demons, so, like, everyone has something to do.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not dealing with main demon, you're dealing with lesser demons. That's fine. And then, he literally turns into the devil.
Yes.
Veterinarian becomes the devil.
The literal devil.
Like full-on horns and all.
Yes.
And then also gets exercised and then ends up in jail.
You know what it reminds me of when he turns into the devil? It reminds me of, like, Brendan Urie in the music video for, like, what is it? Emperor's New Clothes?
The Emperor's New Clothes.
It's like, it looks exactly like that, except, like, not blue or whatever, but it's...
it's not like that bluey purple,
If it was just, like, regular, like, skin color, like, that's the look that they went for.
Vibe.
Yeah.
That's the vibe right there.
Yes.
Yes. And that's, like, way more of an exciting climax to me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the ending there. So, and in the Thai one, that's sort of the ending. The ending is that then she goes to college she ends up in the same college. Like, they don't, like, her mom wants to take her to America. They don't end up going. She ends up at the same, like, beginning of term, whatever. And then, like, she admits that that's her boyfriend and everyone's happy. Great. Everyone's content. That took maybe half an hour.
Right.
In the Korean one, it's 16 episodes, right?
It is. It is a 16 episode show.
Episode 15 is the ending of the show.
It's like first 10 minutes of episode 16 is when we do the final, like, blow on the veterinarian, and then it's done and we're...
It's when you get the fake out that the monk is dead.
Yes. Mm-hmm. That's, like, first 10 minutes of the episode, though.
Yes. And then the rest of the episode is pointless.
So pointless. It's like, we just spend an entire, like, probably more than an hour on, like, them, like, the girl going to college and, like...
going to college and then meeting Taecyeon and then admitting to the whole college that they're dating and then also, like, her and her friends going out to, like, thing and Taecyeon getting jealous because they're there with... It's such a pointless
It's so pointless.
Like, I think I lost brain cells.
I didn't watch it and I'm like, this is really, like, useless to anything that's been happening at all. And it's like... Because another show I know that did this that I really disliked it in was It's Okay to Not Be Okay, where the entire last episode was a epilogue, and I'm just like, I really hate it. It's so boring. Like, and it's so, like, we don't care, like, to know detail. Like, I don't, like, watch dramas to care enough to know the details of, like, every single thing of what's happening to the characters after the main plot ends. Like, just tell me how the plot ends. But also, like,
I could assume that what happened. I don't need,
it's like
a full
we don't need a whole fluff episode of them dating in college, because I'm like, I don't care. Like, we already saw enough of that in the school. I don't care now that it's actually she's no longer a ghost. Like, it's the same. Like, it's exactly the same thing.
Yeah, and in the end, it's like you gain nothing from those episodes. Like, I don't learn anything.
No.
Nothing has changed.
Nope.
And also, like, I would have wanted you to use that episode to explain to me why Taecyeon's an economics student with a veterinarian. Distribute the time to answer my more pressing questions.
That was just a weird hole that they got themselves into that was unexplainable.
Like, when I
biggest unanswered questions right there.
When I realized that fact,
mm-hmm.
I couldn't unsee it. I was just thinking about it. Mainly just because I was like, because I was so confused.
It's so bizarre that is what they decided to do it. Mm-hmm. Oh, so I'm reading a description of it right now, and he's apparently a substitute teacher in a humanities class the veterinarian.
Sure.
And I'm like, why is the veterinarian...
Why are you taking a humanities class in your senior year of college?
And why is the veterinarian stepping in for the humanities class? Like, that just seems like that's not, like, the area he would be teaching, especially in college. Unless he's teaching, like, I don't know, like, humanities for vets. But, like, if you're not a vet, like, you shouldn't be taking that.
Humanities for vets.
Because I took a class in college that was, I took two. One was called Ethics for Medicine, and one was called Ethics for Business. And, like, so...
I took Ethics for Medicine.
And so, like, I get that if that's what you're studying, but if you don't plan to study either of those, like, why on earth is that the class you're in and taking?
Why are you taking a humanities class by... Like,
especially by a vet, because by a vet. I'm like, but why?
In the Thai one, I think it is a humanities class. I think it is an ethics class.
Yeah.
But I understand in a pre-med program taking an ethics class.
Yes, but why when you are economics? Why are you taking a humanities class being taught by a vet? Like, it doesn't add up. It still doesn't add up, even with the little bit of an explanation.
It's so questionable.
Love how this is the one aspect of this drama we're just like, why? It's the biggest one.
Like, the ghost fighting, I understand.
Sure, you're gonna punch ghosts in the face and that's how you exorcise them, like, sure. Because that's not a thing that, like, you really... I don't know the details or care to really look into real exorcism. So it's like, if you want to punch the ghosts to exorcise them in, like, this fake Korean drama, sure. That's fine. But no, it's the taking a class when you're an economics student being taught by a vet. That's where we draw the line of, this is not realistic. How dare you?
Yeah, it's like the little things that just nag at your brain a little bit. But overall, I think I did enjoy both of these.
It is fun. I did enjoy it a lot.
It's a fun show.
It's a fun show.
I don't think I don't think the Korean one holds up as well.
It 100% does not hold up. I will tell you, in rewatching it does not hold up.
I think if you know it doesn't hold up, I think you're in a much better place.
Yes.
Also, for me personally, I think the Thai one personally it edges it out a little bit because I think it just...
The Thai one sounds like it fixes a lot of, like, the minor problems with the Korean one.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it does have, like, it had 5-year gap to figure out what the problems were. Yeah, I guess.
And how to fix them.
Yes. But, I mean, it is fun. It's pretty stupid of a show. Because it is it's a lot of comedy as well.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think we ever really mentioned that the show it's, like... mainly it's a rom-com, I guess. As much as it is a ghost fighting show, it is mainly a rom-com, I would say.
Yeah, I think the rom-com elements really outweigh a lot of other things.
Yeah, because I mean,
a lot of other parts of the show.
You're obviously dealing with Taecyeon, and Taecyeon is traumatized from his past mother's death, and there's
also his daddy issues.
Yeah, and then there's the demon veterinarian, but like it is like. And then there's, like, I mean, when they're going into, like, fight some of these, like, ghost problems that they get
the one-off ghosts are sometimes funny.
Those are sometimes funny, they're sometimes serious. It depends on what they're feeling that episode. But any sort of interaction that you get with, like, Taecyeon and the ghost girl, and then especially the two ghost hunting idiots, like, that, it's, like, it's very much a comedy.
Idiots.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Those two are a lot.
Mm-hmm. But I do think what I can say, at least about these two, is that they at least, like, fit the vibe of the show. Like, I'm not upset at them for ruining the entire, like, vibe of the show in, like, Vincenzo or something. At least they're, like, aware of the genre of show that they're in, so.
Yeah,
they got that.
They know they knew the assignment.
Yes, at least that's, like, at least if, like, you're gonna be, like, unfunny, at least, like, you are doing an okay job acting in the show, so.
I have no other thoughts.
No other thoughts. It's really, not a lot of things to say about it because it is kind of the same all the way through the show.
Yeah. It's very, like, specific plot lines. Like, it's very episodic.
Yeah, and then the fact that the two, adaptations of them, or the one adaptation of the Korean one, I guess, or maybe they're both considered adaptations because it's from a webtoon, I don't know. Technicalities of this, whatever. But they're so similar, and the plot is, like, essentially identical, other than, like, a few minor things between them, that there isn't really a lot to say for differences because the Thai one kept it so similar to the Korean version in the first place.
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking at the leads, or not I'm looking at the tags it has on my drama list right now. One of these tags is socially awkward protagonist.
I don't think Tekken's that. I mean, he's slightly socially
I mean, he
awkward.
doesn't have any. He doesn't really have any friends, I guess.
No, but I think that's out of. I mean, I will say if you see ghosts, maybe that does harm your social life.
But also, I feel like he is like not like. He is like attractive and he is not like socially inept. So like, if he wanted friends, like he could have a lot of friends.
He could.
Yeah.
And like interestingly, in the Thai one, I don't think I mentioned this. It's really the thing that it's not the only way he makes money is through exorcism. He also does online tutoring.
Oh.
And he makes even more money.
Interesting. Oh, I guess this is a plot point we didn't mention, but the reason he has his exorcism business and is trying to earn money is because he wants to get a surgery that removes his ability to see ghosts, is essentially what he wants. Which,
again, what does that even mean?
And
how do you remove your ability to see ghosts? You're just gonna go blind?
Yeah, I think that's, like, a big misstep on his part, because, like, I think he's being conned by a person who says they can do that, because I don't think that's an actual thing that could fix his problem here.
The other thing with that is that, like, that gets dropped so quickly.
Yes.
Because I'm like, who? What? I forgot that's a
That
thing.
was why because he had an exorcism business before he met the two, like, idiot ghost hunters, and they made it into, like, a different type of exorcism business, was that he was doing it by himself, and that's how he originally met both the ghost hunting idiots and the other girl. But it's weird. And then the monk was very against him doing exorcisms because I guess he wanted him to stay away from, like, ghosts and, like, the ghost world generally.
It's like when my grandma tells me to stay away from a Ouija board. You don't fuck with that shit.
Yeah. And so, it's like, I don't think that's a thing. I don't remember who he was gonna go to get this so-called procedure done, but it was apparently very expensive. But I don't think it would have worked anyway. Because you have a demon inside you.
I think they just would have blinded him.
I was like, is that what he wants? Does he want to go blind? Is that what we're doing?
There's a cheaper way to go blind.
Yeah.
I don't encourage anyone, but there's a cheaper way to go blind.
Mm-hmm. There is. There's much. Also, I don't think that, like, just going blind is, like, is a thing.
Like, they can talk to Tekken. He can still hear them.
Yes. It's very bizarre. The actual plot once you get into it more. But, you know, it is at least fun.
Yeah, I think maybe in the Taiwan a similar thing was happening, but also medical school is expensive.
Oh, yeah. Medical school is, expensive enough to warrant wanting to have a side job.
Haha.
But who knows? If, like, that's a plot point they just got rid of, like, I wouldn't be surprised, because it goes away very fast in the Korean one to begin with, so.
Yeah, because I think they realize how stupid it is.
Because honestly, they didn't even need to have it. It was like, he could have just had a side exorcism job just because he wants more money. Like, it didn't have to be.
He's an economics student.
Yeah.
They want money.
It didn't have to be for the fact that he wanted to no longer see. He was saving up for this procedure to help him not see ghosts. Like, that, like, we didn't need that.
By a scam artist of some kind.
Yeah. But sure. I think that's probably it.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think this is going to be a shorter episode.
It's going to be shorter. It's fine. Voice will probably be longer because it's like...
Yeah, voice will
We're talking about like 8 seasons of voice when we do voice, so it'll be a time. Oof. That episode will be a time.
Yes.
But yes, we will be back again next week for more Asian Drama November.
Yay!
We're doing voice and then we're doing Descendants of the Sun. So yes. We will be back for one of those. Probably Descendants of the Sun first, maybe voice, who really knows?
Depends on what we watch first.
Yes. It'll just depend on whatever mood we tend to be in the next couple of months. So
whenever we want to actually
record these or whatever, because we have figured out that we are watching excessive amounts of shows for content this year.
Oh yeah, it's so many.
And we're gonna let you know we're probably not gonna do this next year because it's gotten excessive. It's like, I have a watch list of, like, 14 shows before the end of the year, and Sammy has, like, a similar amount. Like, it's pretty bad. We have decided to just give ourselves, like, extra homework for no reason, but...
I don't know why we've done this to ourselves.
I think we got down a really bad hole with Produce Month, and it was like, let's watch 12 seasons of Produce, and then it was like, well, 3 more seasons are airing this year, so we gotta watch the other 3. And then we decided for Asian Drama November, it's like, let's do adaptations, and then forgot that means we have to watch multiple versions of the same show. And so...
Yeah.
Now we're just stuck in a bad place.
We got ourselves into... This was a mistake.
It was a mistake. Choices were made. Different choices will be made next year, probably. So, but maybe we'll continue making the same bad decisions. Who knows? I can't speak for future me, but...
Future me is gonna be as stupid as current me. So I'm like, I already know that's... Kayla, maybe you'll help.
We'll see. I don't know. It might just be more of the same or worse, you know? It could go.
We're not doing adaptations anymore.
No, we're not going to do that. Oh, we might do Boys Over Flowers, but that's the only one. We would consider.
That'll be a very special
Boys
episode.
Over Flowers.
That's a very special episode.
And you know what? We may never get to Boys Over Flower because we talked about talking about Top Dog for how long now, and we've never filmed that episode.
True.
So we may or may not.
Top Dog will be one day.
We may or may not
get around to that. Maybe one day we'll talk about the tragedy that is Top Dog.
Maybe that'll one day happen, you know? Once again, I cannot speak for future me, so who knows?
Yep.
But thank you. We are available on all major podcasting platforms like Spotify and Apple Podcasts and Overcast and Pocket Cast and all of those fun places. And if you're listening to us there, we also have a YouTube channel where we post all of our episodes along with fun extra bonus clip videos, and if any of our episodes tend to have like visual elements, those will also be on the YouTube channel as well. We also have a Twitter and an Instagram account that are linked in the description of every episode. And that is it for this episode, and we will see you next week for some more drama adaptations. Hooray.
Bye.
Bye.